welcome back, guys. This is another podcast we're doing, podcast slash videocast. Today we're going to be talking about, we don't know yet, he's going to give us a topic. What we're doing today is something different. We have shock collars on our arms. These are generally used on dogs, but he is one. Let's not get into that right now. But we're doing, these are generally used on dogs, but we're going to use them on humans and then some other type of animals. But so Parth, the cameraman over there behind the camera today, he has the control to these shock collars. He's gonna shock us whenever he sees fit. And then my name is Sequinder. This is Brian.
I'm Mark.
Allegedly. Allegedly. And then we're just gonna start off today. Okay. So you wanna hand us the topic?
All right. Let's talk about something that people have been talking about for a while, like internet surveillance. People say that when you're browsing on the internet, the government or anybody can always see what you're browsing on the web or watching. What is your opinion on that topic?
I can't seriously look at you. I'm looking at the controller the entire time, man. I'm just waiting for him to press the button. I'm not really thinking about this. Okay, so you wanna go first, Mark?
Listen, I feel like we're gonna be figuring out like what causes us to get electrocuted like this whole time, because we have no parameters set. It's just like whatever Parth wants to.
Yeah, test.
Okay, no, that is a vibrate. He did shock. That was just a vibrate. It scared me for a second.
I don't know.
You just started.
Go, Mark. Go.
Alright, we're good. I guess for me, this.
Remember, I'm 2, he's 1. Okay.
Yeah. This specific topic, the way I feel about it, like, is I don't really care. Like, I mean, I don't have nothing to be private about. Like, even like when I'm like just get out of the shower, like my laptop's open.
Yeah.
I'm like, if someone takes a picture of me naked right now, I won't really care because, like, clearly it's an invasion of privacy and like whatever. I don't care. Like, I don't.
So you think it's an invasion of privacy, but you don't care?
Yeah. Like taking pictures of me naked, yes, but making sure I'm not searching up how to look up bombs and the best location of where to commit.
But the thing is, I can do that. I can do that right now.
What?
I can easily look up how to make a bomb, and people have done that, like the Boston
Marathon
bombers, and they were able to get away with it.
I'm saying there's definitely an argument to be had about that. Like, that's definitely, like, I would, like, generally, like, on a surface level, I would say, yeah, that's totally, if the government wants to make sure people aren't finding out how to make bombs, like, that's pretty, like, understandable, like, a acceptable reason to, like, for the government to keep tabs on, like.
So let's just say you had a daughter, right? And she was getting out of the shower. She had her laptop open. You think that's fine? Just some random guy looking at her like that?
No, that's terrible. I think there definitely is a difference between taking.
But they are doing that too. So they're doing
the
both.
government, but the government's not doing that. If the government was doing that, that'd be terrible.
So
and it should be.
It is. The people in the government are doing that. Have you not seen the movie that came out about Edward Snowden's life? Snowden last year. Actually, in that movie, which is pretty much it consulted him in the entire movie. It actually stated, like, he had to actually show in the movie, which I'm just gonna take his word for it because, I mean, why wouldn't you take his word for it because of the stuff he's done? He pretty much showed that people, like random people, they were just watching people, like this random woman just changing.
Yeah, but that's random people, right? Like hackers. That's
No. That's people in the CIA that were doing that.
Yeah, that's wrong. That should be solved. Definitely. I feel like it's going to happen eventually is that there's going to be like a
They can literally go into your Facebook and look at everything they wanted to look at. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's literally like anyone can do that. It's not that hard.
It's actually not that easy either. I can't do that. Not anybody can do that. You have to either be a really good hacker or you have to be in the government.
Or just add him as a friend.
But the thing is, they can literally look at any one of your social media, anything you want to look at.
What are you guys looking at?
I don't know. I just really.
It's already sound. We're both like, oh crap.
But yeah, realistically think about this. So your argument is not making any sense here. You're saying it's fine if it's an invasion party. Of course, it's not fine.
I'm saying I understand, like, to a certain extent, that the government needs to make sure no one, because the internet, you do have access to like a ton of knowledge there, and there is like.
Well, then they can just
certain knowledge that is dangerous.
But the thing is, like, look,
knowing how to balance is dangerous. That is something that needs to it's an there is a valid argument there to be had. Like, yes, the government should be able to keep tabs on people if they want to make bombs.
But they're keeping tabs on everybody.
Yes, that's weird. I think there is a line that needs to be drawn. Like, bombs...
But how do you know how to draw the line, though? I don't know you're a terrorist until I go into your computer. But what if you're not a terrorist and once I go into your computer? That's too late now. How am I going to draw the line then?
Yeah, I think it's like if you're tracking someone's like search history and stuff, type of thing. Like if you're seeing like as like an actual like pattern of them like looking up like certain things that could be dangerous to themselves or others. It's like maybe not themselves. I don't know.
But then what if I'm just looking up how to make cool stuff for like a science project?
Yeah, it's different.
So you wouldn't know. But then you go into my computer. That's my search history. You see my search history how to make up like some cool like nitrogen bomb or whatever. Like I don't know what. I'm not very scientific.
I would make some cool like atom bomb, like some nuclear weapon. That'd be awesome for a science project to bring to school.
Well, no, actually, you're right because look, think about it. There are a lot of science. Have you not been to science fairs where they actually make like those 3-sided poster boards and they like, oh, this is how nuclear bombs are board.
You a
No, science fairs. No, science fairs anywhere. Generally, like in schools and stuff. You know, there's science competitions where they bring out 3-sided poster boards.
Yeah.
Like this, is how an atom bomb's made. This is what goes into it. What if I'm looking at that stuff?
Yeah. So I think it's more about like.
So then
like that,
they go into my
like
computer
something
thinking
like
that I'm a terrorist, and then I'm not a terrorist.
It triggers a warning, I think. Like if you see, like if they have a certain standard.
But then they triggered a warning. Now they're gonna go into my computers thinking that I might be a threat. So they go into my computer, look at everything I have, but it's too late now. They've already crossed the line. But what if I'm not a terrorist? I'm just a student doing a science fair project.
But I think if they catch one terrorist doing that, then I think it's worth it.
But they didn't though. The Boston Marathon bomber got away with it. He looked at all this stuff online. How to make the
one. But I mean, I'm sure the CIA doesn't announce the statistics. So there is a certain element of like we don't know everything. Like it's possible the CIA is busting like 100 of these guys a day, but we don't know.
Of course it is. I never said there. No, I never said it was.
So I think there's that spot in the argument where it's like that's just some point we can't argue because we don't know all the facts on that.
So you pretty much came down to the fact that you can't argue this at all.
No, we can argue. You can argue like the validity of it. You're saying there's absolutely no validity in.
I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm saying that you said to draw the line, but I'm saying you can't draw the line once you've crossed it. It's like me punching Brian in the face and being like, I wish I never punched Brian in the face. That I already punched him.
It's a moral line. It's like a moral issue here.
That's my point, though. You said it's like draw the line. I'm quoting you here. It's draw the line, right? But you can't draw a line once you've crossed it.
No, I'm saying
I can't again punch Brian in the face and be like, oh, I wish I never punched Brian in the face. It's too late. I've already punched Brian in the face.
No, I'm trying to think of like a scenario.
Once I've gone into your computer, it's too late. Even if you're not a terrorist, you're not a terrorist. But once I've gone into your computer, I've gone into your computer.
Yes, I get that. No, that
line's been crossed. You can't draw a line anymore.
The line is like it's before that. Like at what point is it okay to go and look at just to go and invade someone's life type of deal? Like at what point do you say, okay, this guy's suspicious? That's the line. But
they're never gonna draw that line.
Yes,
that's my entire point. They're never gonna draw a line.
There has to be some sort of like set rules that they need to follow in order that allows them to, it's just like the same way for like cops. Like to get a warrant from someone's house, you have to like actually like hit these few bullet points. Like I don't even know them. Like it's like they have to be an actual like legit suspect. You can't just run into someone's house to get it. So it's be the same.
Yeah, but that's different. Like what? Then that's different.
Like rules as getting a warrant.
But then
to into someone's house versus getting a warrant to like invade their like internet, like privacy. I think those two things.
I understand that, but the thing is, you don't realize this. But the thing is, like, I'll put it this way: you're not good. If somebody knocks on the door and like, oh, I'm gonna search house, you can know that. But you know, especially for people that are not very tech savvy, it's sort of hard for them to know that somebody's been in their computer.
Yeah,
it's nearly impossible. So technically, what they're doing is just bypassing the entire court system.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean,
there used to be a federal court that the CIA or any like NSA anybody had to go to before they started searching anybody's going deep into people's computers. Yeah. But what ended up happening is they started bypassing that. They started bypassing that court. They started bypassing the court directly. Now what they do is they just go. If they really wanted to look in your computer, look into this computer right here, they could easily look into it without Brian even knowing.
They could be listening to this conversation.
They can.
These guys are onto something. We got to stop them.
No, everybody knows this already. This is common knowledge. It's that everybody forgets it. Nobody even knows who Edward Snowden is.
Yeah,
Do you know who Edward Snowden is?
Yeah, more or less.
Who is Edward Snowden?
It's like some guy in the CIA realized to like leak the fact that they were like listening and like the government was like really just invading people's privacy. Like he's that guy, isn't he?
More or less.
Yeah, that's
I'll
what
give
I'm
it to
saying.
you. You're 90% there. I'm trying to get you the extra 10% to get you 100% there. You're more or less. You're right. Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you there but the thing is, if you go out on the streets in that movie, that's just showing it that after Edward Snowden did all that, right? They went out into the streets and they found out that nobody even knows who Edward Snowden is. Everybody knew who he was for the span of like good 3 or 4 months. Mm-hmm. After nobody knew who he was anymore.
Yeah. So I feel like what's gonna happen, like there's a certain level, like it's more like a personal decision, like how much do you actually?
You know, he can't even come back to the United States now, right?
I don't know anything. I don't see. Okay.
So you know how bad the government is. The government is so bad that they won't even let him to come to the United States.
No,
the government is saying that if they catch him, they're gonna put him in prison.
Yeah,
that's why he's in Russia right now.
Because he broke the laws. So
he pretty much okay. So he did what the founding fathers did. He told everybody the truth.
I don't know if that's what the founding fathers did.
I don't know either. I just wanted to kind of prove my point. But
does that deserve a shot for throwing out a fact that you didn't know?
Fake fact. Oh,
Fake
that was me.
fact.
What the heck? What the heck, Brian?
I think I shocked him maybe one more time.
No. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair, Parth. No. Parth.
Remember, Mark is one.
Parth. No. You already showed me. No. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do it. You're scaring me. I'm gonna get a heart attack. Dude, don't do this. Don't do it. I see your fingers moving, man. Please stop. Wait,
are you not feeling it?
I'm feeling a lot. No.
Again?
No, I used the vibe.
Okay. I'm pretending he's shocking me, so you're shocked.
Okay. Alright, continue.
I don't even know what's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he started jumping up. Okay, here's my proposal.
So you think he should be put in prison because of
I
what
think
he
he should
did?
be put on trial for what he did.
So what? But then what would you do after the trial? Do you think he should be put in prison?
I don't know. That's what the jury's for. He did. Here's the thing. He did break a series of laws. Okay, you have to deal with that fact. There's two different issues.
But he did that to show people what the government was doing wrong. He put the government in check.
There's two different things. There's a moral issue and there's a law issue. He broke the law. Okay.
But morally and ethically, he followed what was right. He told everybody what the government was doing was wrong.
That's the issue there. So lawfully, did he break the law?
Yes.
Yes, so he broke the law, right? So there's two contrasting issues.
But let's just say the president killed somebody. You think the president, nobody should know about that?
No, I'm saying if a president literally killed a political opponent, that's terrible.
So, but now hear me out. Now, if he came out and he told everybody that, would you still put him in prison?
The president? Yes.
No, Edward Snowden. If Edward Snowden came out and he was like, "Yo, Brian, the president of the United States, killed Sequinder," right? His opponent, right?
Yeah.
You think, and then you Edward Snowden came out like, "Oh, so President Brian killed his opponent, Sequinder," right? And you came out and told everybody that, and then you ran away, and then the President Brian was like, "If you ever come back to the United States."
If President Brian allowed it to be that obvious, and like someone could just be like, "Yeah, he killed him," then like.
Well, no. You do your investigative journalism, and then you find out that President Brian did it, and then President Brian said, "If you come back to the United States, Mark, you're going to be in prison."
Yes.
So you think Mark should be put in prison?
I feel like there's I feel like there's a constituency in the whistleblowing. Like
I'm just asking a simple yes or no question. Do you think he should be imprisoned? Yes or no?
Do I think he should be imprisoned? Gosh, that's a tough question. Probably not. I feel like just off the top of my head, probably not. I haven't looked into the issues too much.
But what has he done wrong?
But he broke the law. He committed treason.
So you didn't want to know that that the government was watching like that?
Morally, he did a good thing, but he did break the law.
But the thing is, he was helping the people out. He was telling that our entire country
honestly,
was based on the fact that what the government to get rid of government suppression.
Here's probably what
that's the right fact, Brian. Shock.
I didn't say anything wrong. What?
You were born.
Accusing me of trying to get me in shock. Like what?
No. Don't listen to anybody. Shock on your own will. Shock on your own will.
I'm just like listening.
Yeah, just listen when you think someone like a fact that they say
or anything.
Wrong.
Whenever you want to shock somebody. But don't shock on anybody else's like permission.
I should just start randomly.
Yeah, why not? Just randomly.
Go ahead.
Also gonna keep it also going to. I'll just act like I didn't get shocked. Since they're going to be like, dude, shock him.
Go.
What?
I don't know. Shock him. He forgot.
What? You forgot too.
I did it.
You just said I don't know.
I know.
Okay. Anyways, I think Edward Snowden
Edward Snowden.
That's literally. That's exactly what I said. So what would probably happen, depending on who was in office, like they would convict him of a crime, and then like I feel like he'd be pardoned from it.
Why would they pardon? He knows too much to be pardoned.
Why does he know too much to be pardoned?
He knows way too much to be pardoned. You know that, right?
He's literally in Russia right now. If he knew too much and wanted to, and actually had like an ill intent in his with his knowledge, he could definitely use that.
But the thing is, but that's like saying that's assuming that President Trump would pardon him.
Yes, it's assuming like that.
But what if President Trump doesn't pardon him? If he gets convicted, he gets thrown in prison for the rest of his life.
Yes, but here's the thing: when he decided to come out with that information, he had to make a moral decision. Is me potentially going to jail worth sharing this information? He had to make that decision.
Yeah, it was, and he made it. That's what I'm trying to say. I understand that, but
at that point, he decided, I'm
as
okay with going to jail or leaving
no.
in order to get this. That was a decision he made.
Yeah, that's a decision he made. But as a society, we got to look at it this way. As a country, as a society of the United States of America, we got to look at it. He did not do anything wrong here. He just put the government in check. That's what our country was founded on, man.
Yes, I agree.
Getting rid of the oppression of the government, and then if the government is willing to do this, it's wrong. And if he found that and he blasted him out for it, even though they still continue to do this, everybody's forgotten about this, they're still going to put him in jail for this. He should not be put in jail.
That makes sense.
It'd be different now if he came out with saying some nuclear secrets or some secret weapon of the United States government.
Actually like a national security
issue. Yeah, this is not a national security issue. Everybody pretty much people already suspected. People already suspected that the United States government was already doing this.
Yeah.
And now there was proof.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Yeah. What was your whole point? That doesn't make you just talk for 10 seconds. What was your whole point?
My entire point. You didn't know.
We've been talking about this. Like you did. What? You just said that was my whole point. You could literally.
It was just a vibrate.
I know you vibrated me earlier. So I was like, should I acknowledge it or I'm so scared?
No.
But yes, what was your? I guess summarize. What was okay? If
you cannot come to a decision. Do you think he should be? If you were on the jury, would you convict him?
Would I convict him? Yes.
I would not convict him.
But then you wouldn't be on the jury because you'd already made up your mind about it.
You have already made up your mind too. You said you would convict him.
Yes, but you're basing. Here's the thing: when you're on a jury, you have to base everything on the law.
On the evidence, not on the law.
Yes, on the evidence, and if evidentially
the law is to
Yes, so both right, correct.
No, no.
That's cool. You left me hanging. Wink, wink.
No, I'm
saying there's no way if you're a jury looking at it looking at his case objectively, you have to convict him.
No, you do not, because look, if you're looking
objectively,
at it
a jury's job isn't to decide if
they do convict him. Think about this way. I'll put it this way, Mark.
Okay, look at this scenario for me. Really, okay, if a rapist raped a man's daughter, and then the father
that's completely different.
And then the father murdered the rapist. Morally, you'd say okay, well,
no, I would still put him in jail.
Okay, so what's the difference there?
The difference here is that what is going to happen.
Morally, the rapist broke the father broke the law.
First of all,
same thing with Skinward Snowden. Or Edward Snowden, whatever the
Skinward Snowden. It's Edward Snowden. But here, my whole thing is, look, this is what I'm trying to say, is that you cannot put those two situations together, because here he did not do any harm to anybody, did he?
Yes.
No, he didn't do any harm to anybody.
He revealed secrets of the government.
He didn't do any harm to anybody, not any country, anybody, any one person.
There is a level of confidence you have to have in your employees, I think.
Yes, you do. But the thing is, look, what point does it get to? If you punish him, then every other employee that comes after him that sees that the government is doing something wrong, they're going to be afraid to tell the government, tell the people. Mm-hmm. And there is, I believe, if I'm wrong, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I believe there is certain provisions. Right. There is probably a provision in the United States law that's saying that whistleblowers are protected.
Yeah, right? I think in California there's some poster.
Whistleblowers are protected, right?
More or less.
So my point is that if you start punishing whistleblowers, then nobody else is gonna come up and say, if you're my boss, I'm not gonna come and say, if you slap me, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
If there is a law protecting whistleblowers, then he'd be protected and would not be convicted. But if there isn't, in his case, then he would be.
But the thing is, you're putting him in.
That we don't know.
But the thing is, you're putting him in. Yeah, but we don't even know if he's going to be put in front of a grand jury.
Yes,
We don't
he
know that.
probably would.
No, you don't know
I'd
that.
like to think
You
he
don't know
would.
that. You don't know that. But he doesn't have to be put into a grand jury.
Well,
For
he's guaranteed
federal
a fair
crimes,
trial.
for federal crimes, you don't have to be put in front of a grand jury. You know that, right? You can, for federal crimes such as military, especially because he was in the military, he can be put directly either into like a military court or go directly in front of a judge, and then there should just be the judge deciding it. You know that, right?
Is he ex-military or military?
He's ex-military, but he was a defense contractor, so he's under the same rule. You're not gonna understand, but let's just keep it simple for you. He might.
Oh.
He might be. The thing is, he might not even get a grand jury. He might not get any type of jury. He might end up just being in front of a judge,
so here's
a
what
federal
I
judge.
think he deserves a fair trial, and based on the law, he should be tried fairly. Like I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, what if he's in front of one judge, and that judge is controlled by the other government organizations, and then they were like, okay, just put him in prison.
Yeah, that'd be bad. That's the whole point of like trial by due process. The whole due process thing. I think he has a right to due process.
Yeah, but when you have
He has a right to-
espionage, you forfeit some rights. You know that, right?
Awesome.
Each type of crime has their own you forfeit rights when you commit a certain type of crime. You know that, right?
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, that's what my whole point is. That
Yes. So I'm saying he has made his moral decision, and that was to do espionage, whatever actually he did wrong. I forget. I don't know. It was either treason or espionage or something. He just revealed government secrets. Was that treason? Is that considered
can be
treason?
considered both.
Okay, so whatever is considered, if he broke the law, I think when he made that decision, he was willing to do it. Like he was willing to deal with the consequences.
I
As
understand
a
that,
society,
Brian, but
as a society, I agree we should fight for him.
As
I agree
a government, I believe that they should just let him off the hook. That way, anybody else that comes after him that they find that certain government organizations are doing something wrong, that the people would know.
I think to a certain extent, I can get behind that. I can accept that.
You did not need to argue for this long about this if you were just going to end up agreeing with me.
What? I mean, we were both on the same page from the beginning.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
You know we weren't.
Yes, we were.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
No, we weren't.
Yes, we were.
No, we weren't. No, we weren't.
You guys went off topic.
Did we?
Like 10 minutes.
What is the topic?
The topic was just about like the government. Like,
Oh, spy on us. That was the
Yeah.
topic. I
So,
remember-
do you think the government should be able to spy on us?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
But that's the whole point. What extent? What extent is it?
Don't know.
You're saying
I
certain
think-
extent. You gotta give me the extent.
here's
You
my
gotta give me
solution. I think
parameters.
we should hire. We should maybe I'm just gonna throw this out there. Maybe we have like two separate houses of government, right? One is based on population. One is based on like state or something like that.
Mhm.
And I'd say we elect them to make these laws for us, so that they can come up with the standards by which to measure, their own actions. And if we don't like the standards they create, we elect a different set of people. Like every 2 years, maybe we'll
Okay.
go with that.
First
What
of
is-
all,
how does that
first of
sound
all,
to
first of
everyone?
all,
Do we agree?
first of all, senators are elected for every 6 years. House of Representatives is elected every. You don't know, so I'll explain to you later. But what he was
80%
referring,
there, right?
he's 80% there. Let me get you 20% there, right? So first of all, Mark is being sarcastic for most people that he doesn't. For most people that don't know,
Anyone that
He's
doesn't
referring to
understand our government system, I was being sarcastic.
he's referring to Congress where there's a House and the Senate. But Mark, what you don't realize is that majority of the politics in the United States is run by money. You know that, right?
I think there's.
So when
definitely-
defense contractors want to pay the senators money to vote a certain way, they will vote a certain
Yeah,
way.
and that's wrong. We should get rid of the senators. I
Okay,
think
but
we
but
need-
how many
that's
people
AKA
how many
electing
people actually
senators.
vote? Okay, you want to know do you know that
It's like
out of-
it's like 90. It's like
compared to-
50%. Or it's like. It was
I like
like
how you didn't let me finish, but okay.
I forget. I read the numbers yesterday or the other day. I forgot. There's only like 100 million. Like it's like 180 million like registered or like people that
That's
are
what I was going to let you
eligible
know.
voting
Compared
and,
to
like,
other countries,
only like 60% of them vote or something like that.
yeah,
Like, it's something
compared to
like-
other countries, our country has the lowest voter turnout. Compared to other countries such as Australia, which has a high voter turnout because they actually impose a fine on their voters if they don't actually vote. And they actually have a system where everybody turns 18. Because in the United States, when you turn 18, you're not necessarily registered to vote.
Mhm.
You have to, fill out a form. In Australia, when you turn 18, you're automatically registered to vote.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the problem in the United States. And the thing is that each state has their own criteria for voter registration. Some states, their criteria are so hard that they won't even let an ex-felon vote. And then the ex-felony can be such small as just like you robbing, like you stealing a candy from a gas station
I don't think that's a
when
felony.
you're like a misdemeanor.
Yeah, but you can vote on a misdemeanor.
But you don't know that
The whole
there are
argument
a
is
lot
collapsing on
of there are
itself.
a lot of states have a smaller, and then let's just look at felonies. We're going to continue with felonies, but there are other felonies out there that are very small that they might just be an accessory to, and then they reform their entire lives. They come out, they live 20 years, and they're perfectly fine. But the thing is, like such states in the southern, especially the southern states on the eastern side of the United States, they don't allow people to vote, and which is why there's a lower voter turnout. Which is why like a lot of the African American community can't vote.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like a lot of it has to do with do people actually get out and vote.
That is true, but there are a lot of
using that to justify to like say, oh, I don't think there's 180 million or I don't think there's like 60 million felons that can't vote because they're felons. I don't think it's a law.
But every vote counts.
No, because here's the thing: if there are 100, if you're saying you're now talking about people that aren't actually like eligible voters. So if there are 180 million eligible voters, those felons and stuff are not a part of that. I know they're not. Out of 180%, we have so many that actually vote. Look, so you're talking about a different class.
So what you're doing,
talking about increasing the 180. You're not talking about making it like saying you're.
You guys are both off topic.
Well, I thought we was changing the topic. I thought it was okay. I thought we slowly.
It's fine. It's fine. You get to shock whenever you want to. It's fine. No. So what I'm trying to say is, Mark, if you could hear, you're nitpicking.
You're saying no. You're saying increase the voter. Yeah, eligible voter count, not get more eligible voters to vote.
No, I'm saying both. So what other countries? I'm saying both. I'll explain how. Because look, what countries like Australia do, the reason why they get like over 90% voter turnout is because they actually fine people if they don't come out to vote. And that's what the United States government should start doing. They should make sure they should create a system where because they can easily create a system because they have everybody's social security number, right? So they can create a system
more or less.
All the legal voters, right? All the legal immigrants, they have that's around 316 to 20 million people that have social security number.
What was the number you just threw out?
316 to 20 million people. That's the population of the United States. Right, they have their social security number because they're legal, right? So they can start charging, they can start finding what they can put a voter registration system in place, just like Australia can. I understand it's harder because Australia's population is so much smaller compared to the United States, but we have more resources in Australia, so we should be able to do it, right? We are the biggest economy in the world by GDP, so we should be able to handle the budget.
How big is China's GDP? Just a random question. Do you know?
What?
How big is China's GDP?
They are number 2 now. They're at like, I think we're at like 16, 17. They're low. They're a couple trillion lower than us still. But they were estimated by 2022 they should catch up to. That's not going to. You're diverting me away.
I said a random question. I started with that.
Okay. So my point is that's what we should start doing, and that's what.
Every like 30 seconds, I forget he's there, and then I just like.
No, you're not getting. My whole point is that they should be able to vote. And the only reason they're not voting is because we're giving them an option to not to vote.
Yes, but what about so that's I get your thing about the felons and stuff. That's a different section.
No, that can be including this. That's all. The entire problem is the government's fault.
How many eligible voters are there in America?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to throw that stat out.
Can you grab my laptop and like?
Can you? Why not? Can I just ask him to look it up?
Because I don't
trust your statistics. I don't trust you looking it up.
I'll state my statistics.
I want to see the source.
Yes, I'll show you them, and you can agree with me or not. It's not that complicated.
It's shocking for lack of knowledge.
Do you know?
I don't need to know, but it's not my point, is it?
Yes, you do. I asked you, and you said you didn't know.
It's not my point, though, is it? Are you the one who's bringing up the point?
No, it's your point too. You were talking about some like felonies is the reason why no one votes in America.
I said that's not the reason why. I said this entire system is the fault of the federal government.
Not necessarily. I think a lot of it is the fault of the voters that are eligible and just don't vote.
I understand that, but you can't hold each individual person liable until you start finding them.
Yeah, exactly. We don't hold them liable. We just it's up to.
Do you know the number of do you know the number of people that had healthcare increased because of Obamacare just because the government was going to start finding them if they didn't have any source of healthcare? You know that, right? Yeah. So once you start finding them, you start incentivizing them to get the thing that they need or get the thing that they need to do.
Get the thing.
What was this I was looking for? Apparently, okay. Here's
the theory.
Heavy.com. This is an article written by Daniel S. Levine on January 10th, 2007. Or it was updated on January 10th, 2017. It says over 231 million Americans are eligible to vote now. Okay, that's a lot. Then it says...
But that's eligible. That's not saying that those people are registered. I can be eligible, but I don't have to be registered.
So they're eligible to vote.
That's different than being registered.
Are you going to let me finish? Or are you going to continue to talk?
I'll let you finish.
It says just over 130 million have been voted, so that's like 90 million people that didn't vote, right? More or less, like 100,000. 100 million people that didn't vote. The heck is getting complicated.
Dude, shocking prediction, boys.
What? For me trying to
This
get
is
my numbers
stupid.
right so I don't misspeak?
This is
My
stupid.
goodness. But basically, it's saying like 100 million people, 100 million eligible voters didn't vote. So why that's the problem?
different
Why
than-
didn't they vote? Them
That's
having
different.
felonies
That's different.
has
That's
nothing to
different
do
than
with
being
why
registered to
didn't they
vote.
vote.
They're not even registered to vote.
Yes, that's their fault. So the issue now is why aren't these eligible voters getting out there and voting? That's the issue.
The whole exactly.
It's not because
to,
they're
to solve the issue, I just told you how to solve it, didn't I?
No,
I did tell you how to solve it. You find them. You find them. You find them. Okay.
Fine. Are you saying fine or find?
You find. You find them. You find the people that are.
Fine.
Yeah. First things first. The federal government needs to start getting.
They need to incentivize voting.
Incentivize voting, and the way to do it, the best way to do it, the major thing I'll lay it out for you. This is what I believe the federal government should be doing. The federal government, first of all, they need to fix how each state votes, right? Right now it's in the hands of the states. Each state, like some states that are poorer than other states, they can't afford electronic voters, and then some states don't even have the mail-in voter ballots. Like California, I was able to mail mine in. I'll just fill it out at home and then mail it in, which is so simple, but other states don't have it. So what I think the federal government should do is for stuff like for federal elections, right, that require like especially the presidential election or like the for the Senate or the House of Representatives, those major elections, what they should do is I don't know why you're laughing. So what they should do is they should first things first. They should get everybody.